What's good, everyone? This is your host, Tarod McKnight, and you are now tuned into TARODCAST. For all of the brand new listeners out there listening in to our show for the very first time, welcome. And for all of you returning listeners coming back to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of TARODCAST, welcome back. Now at TARODCAST, you can take everything we say with a grain of salt. We simply just want to add some flavor to your meal. So if we're doing that, then we are doing our job. Today's episode is just celebrating the fact that TARODCAST is 1 year old today, November 16th. By the time y'all hear this, it'll be November 17th. But today, we celebrate TARODCAST reaching its 1 year milestone. So without further ado, today's episode topic is the 1 year anniversary. This is TARODCAST. Let's get it. All right, y'all. Welcome back. This is Tarod McKnight, your host, and you are listening to TARODCAST. And y'all, we have made it to the 1 year anniversary. I wish I had some fanfare and stuff like that to play in the background, but I don't. So I'm just going to go ahead and clap for myself real quick. And you can go ahead and clap right along with me. That's perfectly fine because we have made it to 1 year, and I'm hoping with everything in me that we can continue this effort going forward because I really enjoy doing this. I really enjoy talking with you guys and hopefully giving you all just some things to think about, things to talk about, things to consider. And that is the main goal of this entire effort. I'm not trying to use this platform to spew self-righteous opinions. I'm using this not only as therapy for myself, but just to get out and communicate with you guys and to let you know what's on my mind. And I also want that from you in return. And just know that this entire thing, all of this, everything that TARODCAST is and will soon evolve to being is not possible without you. So please know that I mean that with every loving, heartfelt fiber in my being. Thank you for making this podcast a podcast that has seen so much love and support. Like it's mind-blowing to think that we've been doing this for a year. And so today's episode is going to be dedicated to just remembering where we started, seeing where we are, and planning where we're going. So before we get into all that, we're going to go ahead and take care of our housekeeping details. So if you would like to take our show with you on the go, just know that we are on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Podchaser, Castbox, Podcast Addict, iHeartRadio, Deezer, and YouTube. TARODCAST is on Throne. Throne is a free live messaging application that allows us here at TARODCAST to exclusively reach our listeners. Make sure to sign up if you'd like to keep the conversations going after the episode. If you're looking for natural oils for ultimate hydration and care for your hair and skin, hit up The Resilient Lotus at www.theresilientlotus.com and also use the promo code TARODCAST to receive a discount on your purchase. Keep that in mind because you're going to need that information later. Also, if you are a lover of authentic chunky salsas and good birria tacos, make sure to reach out to Morenitas Salsitas and place your order at www.certain-t.com/Morenitas-Salsitas. And lastly, but not least, if you are in the market for an affordable graphic designer to create your next logo, flyer, album cover, or animated video, check out at Rose Graphism on Instagram. As always, all of this information will be found in our episode notes. All right, y'all. So in this episode today, we're going to be talking about just where we started, where we are, and where we're going. And I would be remiss if I did not take a moment to first and foremost shout out all of the people who have supported the TARODCAST Patreon in any and all capacities, past and present. And so I just want to give a very, very special shout out to the following people: Obi-Wan, Ariel Smith, Betty Thomas, Kalisha, Fresh Kid, Janae Russ, and Nick Nero. You all have provided a type of support for TARODCAST that it is, I can't even find the words for it, because you are trusting me with your subscription. You're trusting this entire effort to continuously deliver the content that you know, every week, every month, and now every year enjoy. You're looking for this show to provide that for you, and you are trusting this show. You're trusting me with your subscription to allow us to elevate our show to levels that a lot of other podcasts may not have the support to do. You know, we're a small podcast. You know, we're local, but we're hoping to go national, international, global, all of these things. And you are the ones who have provided your hard-earned money to help to fuel the efforts of this podcast. And to that, you have my undying gratitude. You have all of my thanks, all of my appreciation. Thank you for sticking with us throughout this entire year. And it is my greatest hope that you will continue to stick with us as we go forward into the next chapter, into the next year of this TARODCAST journey. So with that being said, to everyone who has listened since day one, for those of you who have left reviews or shared our show or just sent a message saying, I appreciate what you're doing, I love the episodes, that last episode had me thinking, or that last episode really hit me. That type of encouragement, that type of motivation, those words, they feed my soul in a way that very few things have the power to do. And because you all communicate these things with me in such a way that it shows me your heart, it shows me that you are fully supporting this show. There is an immeasurable gift that those words give me. And every time I receive those types of messages, it gives me the motivation to keep going. It really does. And without you, I would not be able to do this. So in thinking about where we began, last year on this day, I remember not being able to start on the day that I wanted to start. I wanted to start on November 15th, but good old Amazon, they didn't deliver my items on time. And so I had to start the next day, but that was okay. You all stuck with it. You all stuck with me through it. And you all were incredibly excited to go on this journey with me. And just thinking about the figurative group of people behind me as I sat in front of this microphone over the next 52 weeks to record different episodes on topics that I did want to cover and topics that I didn't want to cover and topics that were under the influence, bringing on Chardonnay Rod to talk about different things, and just thinking about all of you behind this entire effort. It truly spoke volumes. And I just, to everyone that took time to be a guest on this show, over the last year, you all did that with such grace and flexibility, and with all of the things that went into trying to make our conversations as genuine and real and audio issue free. There's a lot that I had learned and was learning in those interactions, and you all were so patient with me. You all were forgiving, throughout my bouts of feeling frazzled and trying to ensure that everything was working properly. Because anytime you have a production, anytime you have any type of medium that is going to be put out to the rest of the world, you have to expect that there will be certain things that don't necessarily go your way. And that happened a lot with this show, but thankfully you all exhibited such kind spirits, and so I just want to thank you for doing that. And to the future guests who will be on my show, because I have a list, and no, I have not forgotten about you. I haven't. But to all the future guests who will make their appearance on TARODCAST, I look forward to having conversations with you about any and everything that we decide to talk about, filtered or unfiltered. I want this medium to be a place where your voice can also be heard as well. And so with that, as I think about where we started and where we are, just that transition from the beginning to present day, the end of 2019 and the beginning of 2020, it was a very hard year it was a very hard couple of months, really, for myself and my family. There were very, very serious things that we were going through, things that rocked all of us to our core, things that when I look back on them, despite the pain and the uncertainty and just all of the doubt that was surrounding all of us, I can confidently look back at that time and truly see that we made it, and we're all the better for it. It's understandable that something like this, a podcast, would not necessarily be a priority when you are trying to overcome situations that press pause on everything. But in those moments, in those days, you all, everyone who has listened to this show, everyone that has supported this show, you all have exhibited remarkable patience through all of the inconsistencies, through the times where it felt like I wouldn't be able to put time, energy, money, effort into this medium. You all truly stuck with me. And by sticking with me, you also stuck with my family. And you helped us to get to a level where, as we were coming out of those events, we could talk about them here on this show. Like, you do not know how much that means to me. To be able to have a medium where, many people think that you could just get on here and say whatever and, talk about anything, and you can. But to open up our hearts and to open up our experiences and share those with you, to be completely vulnerable with you in these moments, that is something that I honestly don't know how to repay any of you for, because there are so many conversations that never happen. There are so many things that so many of us are scared to talk about. But here in this medium, you, the listener, you gave us that permission to be who we are and to talk about the things that we have gone through. And because you gave us that permission, you allowed this show to keep going. Even when it would have been easier to just give it up, you gave us the ability to keep going. And when I look at where we are now, I see that we are in a much, much greater position to keep this effort going. Man, it's like just taking a moment to just sit back and think about that. It's mind-blowing. But at the same time, I feel like where we are is because it's where we intended to be. And where we're going, even more so, is going to be based on that same intent. So with that being said, y'all, we're going to take a break. I hope you have your water or your wine close by. As I always say, take a drink. And when we come back, we'll get back into the present and the future of TARODCAST. We'll be right back. Yo, what's good, everyone? This is your host of TARODCAST, Tarod Rashan, and I just want to welcome you to the commercial break. Now, you already know what time it is. It's hydration time. Get some high-quality H2O in your system now. Got a few things I'd like to go over. First, to all of our new and returning listeners, thank you so much for your ear and your time. To all of our Patreon supporters, I just want you to know that we are not able to do this without your direct support. So the biggest, dopest TARODCAST thank you goes out to you. If you're listening in and you're thinking about becoming part of the TARODCAST Patreon family, we'd love to have you. You can find us at www.patreon.com/TARODCAST. Now on Patreon, we have 3 tiers of support. A $2 tier, a $3 tier, and lastly, a $6 tier. Each tier comes with its own set of unique perks, so if you find one that fits you, sign up. For us, the main thing is keeping our subscription prices affordable. We know that you work hard for your money, and if you choose to support TARODCAST this way, we truly want to make it worth your time. To find out more about our Patreon and the perks with each tier, visit www.patreon.com/TARODCAST. We've got it all laid out for you. Also, we've got a merchandise store. Pick up some tees, hoodies, leggings, and more at forevercertain.redbubble.com. All proceeds go right back into the TARODCAST podcast and allow us to keep making high quality content for people just like you. For our listeners out there who would like to support us in a non-monetary way, we'd love that too. Share our show with people you know. Also, share us on your social media. And if your favorite TARODCAST streaming service allows you to rate and review our show and you're loving what you're hearing, take some time and leave us a 5-star review. Ratings and reviews are what set us apart from other podcasts and also helps us to recommend our podcast to other listeners we otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to reach. Lastly, if you'd like to reach out to us directly, email us at TARODCAST@CRTN-T.com. That's TARODCAST@CRTN-T.com. All of this information can always be found in our episode notes, so make sure to check there if you forget any of the information we just went over. Once again, thank you all so much, and let's get back to the program. All right, y'all. Welcome back to TARODCAST. Again, I'm your host, Tarod Rashan, and we are going to go ahead and take care of the next segment of our show. All right, y'all. So, TARODCAST in the present. TARODCAST to me is something that, for me, it gives me so much joy to talk to you all about the things I've learned and the things I've seen and the things I observe. One of the things that really makes this medium a platform that gives me full confidence in my vulnerability is just the simple fact that I feel like I have every opportunity to be up close and personal with each and every one of you. And, you know, this year, as we all have seen, it has been one of the hardest years for our country and for the entire world that has ever been experienced. And because of that, so many of us have had to adapt to new ways of living that we never thought we would end up being accustomed to, but here we are. And with this type of show, this type of entertainment, whatever you want to call it, this is something that, for me, it empowers me to take a very honest look at the world, the people in it, and also myself. For me, this was a year of tremendous growth. There were things that happened in my life that affected me. There were people in my life that affected me. I learned so much about myself. This year, I jokingly say this around the house, but this is the year that I realized that I am truly trash. I am, but I would rather my trashiness be understood and to help someone to learn about themselves than to have another landfill created. And when I say that I'm trash, I mean that the perception of myself as a person drastically shifted this year. And I don't necessarily use this in a bad way. I don't mean this to be derogatory towards myself, but I use this term here and now just to remind myself that, you know, with everything I do, with everything I say, there are parts of me that if I do not continuously work on those things, if I do not make a concentrated effort to better myself, then I am no different. As much as I like to think, or as much as I have thought that I was a different type of human being, I am no different. And here and now, I can confidently say that I am no different. But I am doing what I can within myself to make sure that as a person, as a three-dimensional person, that I can do everything necessary to walk the walk and talk the talk. And right now, this podcast is giving me the opportunity to do both, because, you know, for me, I hold nothing back when it comes to talking with you guys. And I appreciate the fact that y'all let me hold nothing back. Y'all let me do what I do. And this is how we have made it to this point, because y'all are literally growing alongside me. Y'all are experiencing my thoughts, and y'all are experiencing my experiences, and y'all are giving me this opportunity to share these things, whether it is or without judgment. Y'all are giving me the ability to share these things and to do so in a way that truly does inspire conversation. Because what would my experiences be? What would my trashiness be if I didn't have the ability to sit down and talk to you and talk with you about the things that I have learned about myself? You know, the present day, like as I'm sitting here and recording this now, you know, I see that there has been so much that has gone right and gone wrong. But these are the things that have shaped the way in which I view life and people and myself. And it is because of that I can sit here in this present moment and communicate with all of you the things that have affected me. And, you know, it's, you know, introspection. Again, I feel like that should be like the secondary title of the TARODCAST podcast. TARODCAST, an introspective look at life, people, and experiences. I'm not going to change it to that, but that's, in my mind, that's how it feels when I come to you every week with a new episode and I give my take on it. I give my thoughts on it. And for me, it truly shows how willing I am. And hopefully it's encouraging you all to be willing enough to really take a moment to think about who you are and why you are. You know, this podcast is a medium that provides me that avenue to sometimes be scripted, sometimes to not be scripted. And this episode is an episode that isn't scripted at all, because I just wanted to just talk with you all and give you my real feelings as I'm feeling them here and now about where we are, what we've done, and what we will do. And because of that, it continues to inspire me to be as open and as honest as I possibly can, to know myself, to love myself, to trust myself. These are things that a lot of people, they don't take time to do, but this podcast, because I love it so much, it gives me that opportunity to do that every time a show is put out there for you. And I don't know, it truly fills me with gratitude, because my experiences, my life as it's currently being lived right now, it is something that as I continue to gain, as I continue to progress, as I continue to learn more and earn more and do more, it's going to be that medium where I can share those things with you and hopefully give you something to think about, to give you something worth considering. And if nothing else, as it's been told to me by listeners of the show, to give you a voice that is soothing and makes you want to relax. If you don't hear anything else that I say, I hope that my voice over the last 40 plus episodes has at least given you an atmosphere to relax. I mean, I look at that as a job well done as well. And so here in the present, just thinking about where I am right now, there is so much that has already been accomplished, and there's so much that I can't wait to accomplish going forward. And so let's go ahead and talk about the future. Now, if you are on Facebook, or if you are on any other social media site that has either TARODCAST or CRTN-T as a handle, then at this very moment, you will see that, as of the recording of this show, you will see that we have a brand new logo. Yeah, we have a brand new logo, and we are going to be using that going forward. And I have to give a shout out to Rose Graphism. There was a reason why I have been plugging that man in the last few episodes, because he took time to design a brand new logo for us. And it is phenomenal. I love it. I love it. I hope that you all love it too. And I feel like for me, it represents that evolution. It represents that next level that we are going to be taking TARODCAST to. It's something that for me, I'm never going to do away with the old logo. It's still going to be available for stickers and magnets and things like that, because it is a representation of where we started. And so if you have any of those items, I don't want you to tear them off. I don't want you to throw them away, anything like that. Know that this is still who we are, but now we have a brand new look. And this new logo is also going to be featured on many items in our Redbubble store. I know y'all heard the plug for that in the commercial, and it is already on many of your favorite items. And so if you would like to don some new gear with that logo on it, please, by all means, visit our Redbubble store at forevercertain.redbubble.com. I know, shameless plug, but it's TARODCAST. We got to promote ourselves as well. But I want to use that to transition into what we are doing for the future of TARODCAST. Now, for all of our patrons who have continued to support us, we have a second podcast called TARODCAST Under the Moon that, because this year happened the way that it happened, we haven't had the opportunity to record those patron-only podcasts this year in the way that we wanted to. And I appreciate you all's patience and forgiveness, because it is something that we wanted to do, but we couldn't. But going forward, we are going to fire that machine back up. So that way, the Patreon supporters who are supporting us there will not only get TARODCAST, but you will also get TARODCAST Under the Moon. And it is our goal to have at least one episode of that special podcast, the Not Safe for Work, the unfiltered podcast for you per month. And I am excited about that journey, because there are going to be things that we talk about that are just not suitable for the regular podcast medium. Because then we'd have to put explicit content on all of them. And we want people who are not necessarily looking for those types of explicit conversations to also have something to listen to. But at the same time, we want you to know that more of those episodes are coming, and that it is our goal to have at least one of those episodes for you, those TARODCAST Under the Moon episodes per month. Also, if you are on Facebook or Instagram or any place where we can post visuals, we are also going to be running the 1-year anniversary TARODCAST merchandise contest. Now, I'm not going to go into all of the rules here on this show, but I do want to talk about why we're doing this, because I feel it's important. TARODCAST has been in existence for 365 days as of today. And we want this to be something that we do every year to show our thanks. And one lucky person is going to win $100 in TARODCAST merchandise, including a hoodie with our brand new logo on it. So that way, when you are out here, especially as we move forward into wintertime, you'll be able to rock TARODCAST apparel and show your world that you rock with our show. And so if you are listening to this, make sure if you have us on Facebook, you check the details out there, because this contest is going to go from November 17th all the way through November 1st. And December 1st, November 17th through December 1st. And on December 7th, as I'm taking that week to tally up all of the results and, see if there's any tiebreakers, things like that, we'll be announcing on that December 7th show the winner of our 1-year anniversary TARODCAST contest. And that person is going to be receiving $100 in TARODCAST merchandise. And I cannot wait. For that moment. It's going to be awesome. And so as we go forward into the future, just know that TARODCAST is here to stay. Whether or not we win the OKC 2020 People's Choice Award for Best Podcast, which I hope we do, but even if we don't, this podcast is going to be here to stay. And we're going to be doing more giveaways. We're going to be doing more special episodes. We're going to have more guests on our show. Everybody who's on my list, you are going to be on my show. And we're going to go into 2021 with more momentum than what we've ever had. We see this show getting so much love, and love from places and people that we didn't even know we had the ability to reach. But we see this show doing that because of listeners like you, because of people like you. And I cannot wait to go on that journey and see what else we learn about one another and also about myself as we go into this next year of TARODCAST awesomeness and greatness and controversy and all these things. It's something that I look forward to with all of my heart. And when I look at the future, I feel that it's possible. I believe that it's possible. And I want you to know that if you put a focused intent, focused energy, focused effort, focused time into any and everything that you are passionate about doing, then as we're on this journey going into the next year, you will also be on that journey too. And one of the things that I look forward to the most is hearing about how you've been able to accomplish what you set out to accomplish on your journey. That is going to be the true victory for all of us. I mean that. So with that being said, y'all, TARODCAST is going into 2021 with a fire, with a vigor, with an intensity that it's going to blow this past year out of the water. I know it is, because we're going to be delivering on so many different fronts. I cannot wait to make TARODCAST a podcast that is something that is on everybody's minds. It's something that's on everybody's mouths. You won't be able to be here in this state without knowing about us, without knowing about this here podcast. That is one of our goals going forward for our future. But I know that this is something that cannot and will not be done by myself. It's because of people like you who have shown this show so much love that we are able to make all of this possible. And so because of that, I'm going to need all of you to continue to do everything that you do to make this show what it is. Don't stop. Please don't stop. Because without you, then TARODCAST is nothing. It's nothing. You are important, and I need you to know that. You are the ones who are giving this show everything it needs to go forward. And I thank you for that. So y'all, that's our show. As always, you know how to find us, where to find us, how to support us. When you have a moment, make sure to leave us a 5-star review if your podcasting app allows you to do so. Because for the contest, you may also earn points for that. But y'all know, y'all already know. I want to encourage you to be more introspective and vulnerable with yourselves. Know who you are, love who you are, and trust in who you are. Whoever you are and wherever you are. Again, I just want to say thank you all so much for listening. I love you. I appreciate you. And I hope that you'll stick on this journey with us. Last but not least, make every effort to find and keep your peace. Till next time.